It wasn't so much like it is now. I mean, it really was when I first started. Well, when I first started on patrol, before I was ever a lieutenant or anything. You know, it was all 2-lane roads around here. The 4-lane out here was very narrow, had no turning lanes, and of course there wasn't hardly any businesses from the red light down here all the way up to Cedar Bluff, and wasn't red light at Cedar Bluff either. So there was this mix of rural and of the subdivisions, and the subdivisions started popping up everywhere. So I answered a call one night down here, and a big mule, or jackass as we say, had been struck and killed. And so I'm sitting there and it's laid aside of the road, and I looked up and it's down in front of Wayne's house. And so light comes on about 2 o'clock in the morning. I get up, I walk over there. Hey Wayne, hey, what happened? I said, this jackass mule has been hit down here. It's jackass. And well, just haul it off. I said, what are you telling me for? I said, it's our job to notify next again. I actually wrote that on you years ago. Yeah. But it's been a great experience that I've had as sheriff and working in this area. And, I went to West High School, but my family owned a big farm over off Westland Drive. And of course, a lot of my cousins went down to Farragut. My wife is from Farragut. She graduated in 1970. She's getting old. And I'm not, but she is.
It's on video.
And, so it's been a huge change in this community. If you can remember back when, I can remember when we'd leave over my grandfather's farm, and he'd want us to take us down to Dixie Junction. And believe it or not, even way back then, they had the fireworks stand down there.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't hardly anything else down there. The Dixie Lee Drive-In Theater and a fireworks stand. And so he'd take us down there and all. And there weren't any, the only business between the red light and Bearden was Lone Star Texaco. Most of you probably don't even know where that was. That was in the ditch just this side of Lovell Road. This is Texaco station, a little store and all. And I'm sure David remembers it. And that was it. I mean, you had one place from the time you left Bearden and to Concord red light, one business. And just imagine that now when you drive down Eastern Pike and take a look. And of course, I went to West, and I went to grades 1 through 12 with David Williams sitting there. 8 years at Pond Gap and 4 years at West. And so a lot of people that I'm very close with that I grew up with in this area, and it's been a great area. And what I was kind of asked to speak on tonight was the inauguration. Well, it was my maiden voyage to the inauguration. And as Ted can tell you, it was his maiden voyage. To Cleveland. I also went to the convention in Cleveland, and it was our maiden voyage there as well. And I'm kind of like Carla. One night we both spoke about the convention and said, she said and I said, we both said, we loved it. It was great, but won't do it again. That's kind of that way with the inaugurations. Being a policeman, I'm around large crowds most of the time. I just don't like it as much as I used to years ago, from having to deal with those crowds and those problems all the time. But the first night, the night before the swearing-in ceremony, Mr. Trump, President Trump now, had a large reception, and is over at the Lincoln Memorial. Had several groups to come in and sing, and that was really entertaining, very good, and everybody was in good spirits and all. And there wasn't really a lot of protests that night. Just saw a few people, and so we went to that, and the security was really good. Of course, when you get ready to go in, it is the Marshal Service, Uniform Marshal Service. Secret Service is the Uniform Secret Service. The Secret Service has 2 divisions, and one is uniform. One is the presidential detail, and that's what everybody thinks that's the Secret Service. They also have a uniform division of the Secret Service. If you look around on rooftops wherever the president is, you'll see a team of sniper, counter sniper, observer, and that's the uniform Secret Service guys. And they'll have a full automatic. Used to have a full automatic BAR, and then they'll have a custom-made sniper rifle for whichever one is the sniper. And it's customized to his length, his pull, his hand, his fingers, everything. And it's a very expensive gun. But you'll see them up on top, and they're sitting there. It's the observer most of the time that you see with binoculars, because they don't want the shooter to have to be straining his eyes until he'd have to get on a scope. And so they had that set real well, and had those teams in place, and it was pretty good. And then the next day, I did get there early enough, had really good seats, and sitting up fairly close, and could see everything, hear everything real well, and I got in there early enough to where I didn't go really early, but I got in there early enough before the real crunch hit, and then it got really, really crowded, and it was a real good program, and the swearing in, and again, emotions real high. And I saw a few protesters when we first went through, and you know, you can't really categorize those protesters as being Democrats. A lot of them are just anti-authoritative people, and you know, unfortunately, the Democrats have to get bashed with them a lot. And I mean, I could tell by looking at them, they weren't there because of political reasons. They're anti-authoritative, most of them are. And so, you know, as